Hello friends, this is Leo Siron from the Gaming Generation, and we're about 20 days away from 2018's E3. With the approaching of the conference, a lot of gamers start to speculate about all sorts of software and hardware that may come up in that conference, that may be announced there. And there are lots of people wondering about a possible PlayStation 5 announcement, even though Sony has already said that it's not gonna show any new hardware this year. Instead, it's gonna focus on a few games including Spider-Man and Death Stranding, among a few others. And yes, so while I speak, I will exert my maturity and tinkle with some action figures. They're not dolls, they're action figures. So, for a long time, we've had a time span, a console lifetime of about 5 to 6 years among all companies, like Nintendo, from between Nintendo 64 to GameCube to Wii. We've got about 5 to 6 years, from PlayStation to 2 to 3 to 4. It's at least 4 years between one console and another. So okay, both Xbox One and PlayStation 4, were released on 2014. Thus, people are speculating, well, since it's 4 years ago, it's about time they released another, they announced a new console. But I don't think that will be the case. I do believe that this generation of consoles will last the longest of all we've already seen. Because, if you remember it well, when PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were released, they did something weird that many people thought as to be wrong or inadequate. That was re-releasing HD versions of older games from the previous generation of consoles. So people were like, what? Am I buying a new machine just to play the same games with higher resolution? And that was a weird choice at the beginning of the lifespan of those consoles, because probably they couldn't get developers to finish their products in time to be released exclusively for the new consoles. So that was weird. But I do believe that reflects a deep truth about console releases that we tend to ignore. So releasing a new console is not just a new opportunity, it's also a risk, a big risk, because when a company releases a new console, it's like throwing away all its built based on the previous console. Everybody who's got a PlayStation 3 is not everybody who's bought a PlayStation 4. Everybody who's got a Nintendo GameCube is not everybody who bought a Wii, So you risk to lose your installed public, and you have to convince game makers to work towards your machine, your new machine. And that is not always easy, because sometimes, with game development tools nowadays, it's become easier. But there is, in terms of creating the games, but in terms of licensing the games for the newest machines, there may be a few issues here and there. So there is a bigger barrier for developers. There is a big barriers for consumers who have to pay quite some amount of money for a new machine that they are not super sure yet they will like or not. So there is that. So you have to invest a lot, a lot of money in marketing after you've already spent a lot of money in research and development to create the new machine. So there is a lot of investments and a lot of risks towards making and releasing a new console and making it successful. It's not like from day to night, Donatello goes like, oh, I'm gonna release a new console. Yeah, it's gonna be a Pizza Console 5 for Ninja, and it will only come out with Ninja Turtle games, and I will convince third-party developers to release games for the Pizza 5. And everybody will migrate from Xbox One and PlayStation 4 to Pizza 5, because it's pizza! Perfect marketing! Sounds ideal, doesn't it? But it doesn't go like that. You have to convince people that Pizza 5 has got the best services. Nowadays, it's not only about graphics, friends, because we've reached a point where the differences in graphics between Sony and Microsoft are very little. I'm sure there are some hardcore fans out there who note that the anti-aliasing of one is 0.1% better than the other, but come on, you really have to make an effort to see the difference. The graphics are good just the same, and we're in a plateau now that I don't believe that any new release of a new console will skyrocket enough for all those risks to be worth it. There is that. So I don't believe anybody is gonna release such a powerful console anytime soon. And just as I said, nowadays game playing has matured in a way that it's not only about graphics, even for people who enjoy graphics a lot, because the graphics are already gorgeous. In order for someone to look up to another machine, they would need to provide better services. And I'm talking about online play, the online store, and who knows what else. We're in a plateau, we're in a point in time where all consoles have great graphics. The Switch, I'm not sure about it, but the Switch may be lagging a little far behind because Nintendo doesn't invest in graphics, they invest in gameplay. So the Switch got the unique concept, and of course for them to release another console, they have to come up with another unique concept. For example, Switch is both a console and a portable device, right? Donatello loves playing it at the sewers and when it's out on missions. So if they just wanted to implement a new controller, they can do it because all consoles now have wireless capability to play wireless controllers on. Oh, so I came up with a controller that is in the shape of a little Donatello. When I move the doll, did I just call him a doll? It's an action figure! Anyways, when I move the action figure, the game's character is gonna change. You don't need to release a new console for that, just release a wireless action figure that's got the functions enabled, you know? Why would you release a whole new console? Unless it's such a concept that you cannot implement with just wireless new controllers. For example, being a handheld, a portable, and a console is something that the whole machine has to do at the same time, because you can't turn PlayStation 4 into a portable device all of a sudden, unless you release a controller that's like a PS Vita that connects wirelessly via the internet with the PlayStation 4, but the connection would have to be really good, and I don't know. So you have to come up with a really good new concept and really advanced new services to make the buy of a new console for gamers worth it. And I'm not sure about you, but Donatello ain't buying anything that's just got slight better graphics. And there is one thing that the remarkable and deceased ex-president of Nintendo said, is that software sells hardware. And as long as we've got good software coming up for the consoles, for the current consoles, I do believe the companies can maintain a strong market for themselves. You see? So unless, as I said, there are some barriers for developers to develop for new machines when they release, and they wouldn't be able to easily port all of their software towards new hardware. That's why a new machine wouldn't have the power in terms of software library to compete with the already existing consoles, at least in the short term. And in order for them to go through that bad short-term period towards a long-term strong sales stream, they would have to really have a good new concept and a really excellent new services to give players. And I don't see that happening anytime soon, because as gamers our needs are somewhat they're not perfectly attended to, but they're somewhat, I don't know the word for that, they're flowing towards us. We're being fed what we need already, except for not perfectly again, but I think I made my point. I do believe that this generation of consoles is gonna last a long time. So I do believe we won't see a new Nintendo a hardware console in at least a lot of years. I don't know, Nintendo's a little different because they can come up with a new concept of console. They already did that a few times, like the Wii, the failed Virtual Boy, the Wii U that failed too, the Switch that is being successful. They are the guys that come up with new concepts. So perhaps the Switch lasts for 6 years. But or not, they can extend its lifetime. I don't know. They already said that the 3DS will last for a long time yet, even after the Switch was launched. But for Sony and Microsoft, they play safer in terms of console concept. So I don't see why they would release any new machines anytime soon. They just released Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro. So why would they invest in new machines? They already got their graphics updates that wasn't that major anyway in new versions of the old machines a short time ago. I don't see any consoles coming up from them for at least 3 years. Of course, the market changes very fast. Things changes very fast. Somebody in any of the 3 companies can come up with, oh, I've got a great idea for a new console. Let's release it and surprise everybody. That can happen, of course. I don't have a crystal ball. I only have a Donatello action figure and a Rathalos action figure, a very cool Goku poster, and a very cool, not only Goku, a very cool Dragon Ball Z poster, and a very cool Tiger poster. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say whether or not somebody will have such an idea. If I had that idea, I'd be working for those companies. Rathalos can't work on those companies because he keeps eating everybody who's at the reception. He can't even get to the job interview. Bad Rathalos. Donnie's gonna teach you. Or surf you. It's amazing. Look, you can surf. That's it. Unless they come up with a crazy new concept, no new consoles for us. That's it. What, do you disagree with me? If you do, please tell me in the comments. Share your opinion away. Let's discuss it. If you want to see more gaming content, subscribe to the Gaming Generation on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. And I am also Leo Saron. I've got my own channel called Leo Saron Games on those platforms as well, as long as a Twitch channel, Leo Saron Games. Hope you enjoyed the discussion, friends, and I'll see you next time. Oh, one more thing. Oh, almost forgot. Nintendo only released the Switch when the Wii U was 4 years old, because the Wii U was a flunk. It failed. It was a marketing failure. People couldn't see its value, and it was not a novel enough concept. It was not a strong enough in terms of graphics because they don't invest in that. I like the Wii U. I do believe that its software library could be a little stronger. I mean, it's got Breath of the Wild, which is amazing, and some good games that it's got some great games, but not a lot of great games, you know? But the Wii U failed because it was not marketed well. People couldn't see its value over the Wii. They tried to cash out in the Wii's popularity to sell the Wii U, but it's kind of backfired. Thus they had to interrupt Wii U's life cycle short by releasing the Switch. And now that the Switch is doing very well, I can see it surviving for a long time before they think of releasing a new machine. That isn't a Switch upgrade, I mean. That may happen. And you see, that's why they cut short the Wii U's lifespan. But when it comes to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, they are already well marketed. The hardcore fans that like those companies are already in ownership of those consoles, and many people like me who are interested but haven't got them yet are going to seek to buy them if they survive long enough and they keep relevant in the market, which I hope they do, because I am planning on acquiring them whenever I can. So that's it, friends. Leo Saron Games on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch. The Gaming Generation on Facebook, Twitch and WordPress. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.